Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. I hope all is well. Let's move on now to international markets. A measure of positive breath in the Chinese stock market is approaching its mathematical limit, says David Inglis. It's up 24% year to date, probably the best performing market anywhere. Let's go to currency markets. Euro dollar 113.06. Dollar index last at 96.89. Japanese yen 111.75. Swissy 100.46. The pound 131.62. The Australian dollar 0.7038. India rupee, as I said, below 70. South Korean won 27.73. Brazilian real, that softened up probably because of that golden shower tweet, 384. Egyptian pound 17.469 and the rand 14.2599. Dollar index, this is a 1 year chart. I continue to look for 100. I know we've been up here according to Pinecone Macro. This is the 10th time. Bund yield, this is a chart from Holgo saying if the ECB doesn't deliver today, we could see a backup in yields, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think on balance we'll see a rally, because I think they're going to add in a lot of liquidity. Vancouver was unsurprisingly our weakest prime market in 2018, said Knight Frank in their wealth report. Vancouver has seen significantly new taxes and regulations implemented in recent years, compounded most recently by hikes to foreign buyer tax and stamp duty in the early part of the last year. Unsurprisingly, our weakest prime market in 2018, we expect to see prime prices stabilize in 2019. I take you back to that article I wrote in December about the truce dinner, and in that I said the Vancouver real estate market, which has boomed for decades on the back of Chinese demand, looks horribly exposed with this Trudeau, Xi Jinping, Huawei story. Xinhua said Canada will face grave consequences if it does not immediately release her. Vancouver real estate market boomed for decades on the back of Chinese demand, now looks horribly exposed. The temptation to mug the handsome Justin Trudeau is something the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia could not resist, and it seems Xi is experiencing the same impulse. In 2018, the PIRI 100 recorded its lowest rate of annual growth in 6 years, 1.3%. Knight Frank again, that's the high-end luxury market. Manila leads it with an 11% uplift. That's interesting. Demand, they said, remains strong in French hotspots such as Cape Ferrat. That was good. Let's move on to the commodity markets. Gold, 1284.60. We've been here for a little while, I'm sure you've noticed. Crude oil, there you go, a huge inventory build, and trend line stick save, the opposite of what would be intuitive. $56.53, still at the top of the range, but Trump has capped it, but he's going to have to unload a lot more oil from his special reserve if he wants to keep this thing moving under pressure. Bloomberg Grains Index at an all-time low. I wasn't aware of that. New direct flights between Edinburgh and Beijing have contributed to annual growth in sales of Scotch to China. Knight Frank again. Knight Frank Rare Whiskey 100 Index, which tracks auction sales in the United Kingdom and was created for us by Rare Whiskey 101, rose 40% in value during 2018 and it has increased by almost 600% over the past 10 years. We should have all just bought whiskey and retired. Sales of Scotch whiskey to India, China and Singapore rose by 44%, 35% and 24% respectively in the first half of 2018.